About complement system, active and passive immunity, and autoimmunity. Now, what is complement system? As the name suggests, it complements the effect of antibodies. It is basically a system of 30 plasma proteins, and it acts as a bridge between innate and acquired immunity by stimulating the B cells. And this system, it is very much helpful in the immune memory. So the final effect is to lyse the cell membrane of the invader. Now there are three pathways involved in the complement system. First one is classical pathway, lectin pathway, and last one is the alternative pathway. As you can see the cascade of reactions over here, formation of complement system protein C3A, formation of C5A, and by the process of phagocytosis, inflammation, ultimate effect of all these three pathways is cell lysis. They finally kill the invading cell. Now these are the biological effects of complement system: bacteriolysis, phagocytosis, chemotaxis, opsonization, hypersensitivity reaction, amplification of inflammatory response. You can see the proteins that are involved in each of the effects. Now a word about active and passive immunity. So the acquired immunity, it can either be adapted from the prior antigenic exposure or can be transmitted to the person in the ready-made form. Okay. So depending upon this, the acquired immunity, it can be classified into active and the passive immunity. Now active immunity, the immunity that is acquired because of prior antigenic stimulation. It is of the two types, natural active immunity and artificial active immunity. Natural active immunity, what is that? It is established by clinical or inapparent microbial infection. You can see the examples over here: poliovirus, chickenpox, measles, influenza, common cold. Okay. Now, next one is artificial active immunity. Immunity conferred by the induction of vaccines. Vaccines may be live vaccine or killed vaccine. So aim of immunization, it is to produce acquired immunity against the specific diseases. Then we'll talk about passive immunity. Passive immunity transmitted to a person in the ready-made form. So preformed antibodies are given to the subject who has been exposed to an infectious agent. Okay. Now it is of two types: natural passive immunity and artificial passive immunity. Natural passive is vertical transmission of resistance from mother to the baby. Okay, colostrum, it is rich in IgA antibody, and fetus starts developing antibody IgM at around 20th week of gestation, but these are not immunologically active at the time of birth. Here is one reasoning based question: why the pediatric infections are more common during the first 3 months after birth? We will discuss all the reasoning questions at the last. Next one is artificial passive immunity. Involves administration of antibodies to the recipient. You can see the examples over here: hyperimmune sera, convalescent sera, etc. This is the flowchart representation of active and passive immunity. Now about autoantibody. Auto means self. So immune response of the body to self antigen, and these antigens are presented to the immune system during the fetal life. So body, when it produces antibodies against its own proteins, causing excessive destruction of the antigenic substances by the antigen-antibody reaction. So any disease that results from this type of immune system, these are called as autoimmune diseases. You can see the examples over here: diabetes mellitus, myasthenia gravis, Hashimoto thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, hemolytic anemia, and pernicious anemia. Thank you very much.